Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel, Reading Ideas. Now, I'm going to start a year-long project, one video a day, and this project is basically on history, what happened on this day. So I do metal detecting, and you come across, your history, local history, things that kind of surprise you. And, the history of this country, England, part of Great Britain, goes back quite a way and has been involved in one or two things. So I think it's really important to know your history, know your country's history, know the world's history, and how things piece together. So I've decided to do it this way, to post what happened on this day. Now, I'm going to try and avoid certain things, such as births, because then things will end up appearing twice. So on this day, Guy Fawkes was born. On this day, he tried to blow up Parliament. So I'm going to try and focus on the event, not on the birth. But I might do some births Anyway, we'll kind of see. So, if you're interested in history, so I'll go through what happened on this day. So this is the 14th of November. So in 1687, Eleanor or Nell Gwyn, the long-time mistress and mother of two illegitimate children of Charles II, King of England, dies. Now, he was the king who came in after Oliver Cromwell. He was known as, I think, the Jolly King. And, well, sounds like a good time was had by all, doesn't it? So it must have been a bit more open times after the Puritans that everybody knew you had a mistress and two illegitimate children walking around. So, 1680, Gottfried Kirch, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, discovers the Great Comet of 1680, known as Kirch's Comet or Newton's Comet. 1770, James Bruce, the Scottish traveller, discovered what he believed was the source of the Blue Nile. So that's when they were out adventuring, discovering parts of the world. So the source of the Blue Nile. 1856, American Gail Borden issued a patent for the invention of condensed milk. So we're getting into more food manufacturing. So feed more people, but it isn't always as good as just plain natural foods, is it? 1864, Frank Müller, a German tailor, who murdered Thomas Briggs, the first murder committed on a British train. The murder was committed on the 9th of July. He was publicly hanged at Newgate Prison. There's no more hanging in Britain anymore. 1896, Niagara Falls Power Plant begins operation. Bit of environmentalism perhaps there. 1896, how about this? The speed limit for the Horseless Carriage, otherwise known as the car, in Britain was raised from 4 miles per hour, and 2 miles per hour in town, to 14 miles per hour. So just you look out now, 14 miles an hour you're allowed to go. That was 1896. 1920, Russia's Bolshevik army occupies Sevastopol, ending the anti-communist attempts to regain control of the Russian government. Communists take total power. 1922, BBC begins daily radio broadcasts from the 2LO transmitter at Marconi House. I don't think it was even known as the BBC then. Marconi. 1994. Oh, hang on, we jumped, sorry. 1911, George V and Queen Mary land at Gibraltar, the first reigning British monarch to visit a Commonwealth country. And then it became a thing, didn't it? Visiting Canada, Australia, places like that, places in Africa. 1940, 449 German Luftwaffe bombers dropped 503 tons of bombs and 881 incendiaries on Coventry, killing over 500 civilians and destroying the medieval church. A new cathedral, a medieval cathedral. A new cathedral was built next to it, and the medieval bombed cathedral remains were left as a memorial. In 1941, where are we at? 1941, the British aircraft carrier, the Ark Royal, was sunk off Gibraltar after being hit with a torpedo from the German U-boat U-81. And where are we? 1952, Britain's first musical chart was published in the New Musical Express. I think that became known as the NME, with Al Martino's Here Is My Heart as number 1. First music chart in Britain. 1969, the BBC begins daily colour TV programmes. 1969, colour TV arrives. And 1977, I remember this, firefighters held their first strike, asking for a 30% pay demand. More than 10,000 troops were called in to cover emergencies. So I remember that all over the television. They were, talking about supporting, not supporting the strikers, and the army fire engines were painted green in camouflage. So I remember these green firefighting trucks. Now, just a little aside, I'll believe it's true. A friend of mine was in the army, and his regiment were put on this duty, and he was driving around going to emergencies with these green firefighting trucks, and some of the I think the firefighters or whatever, basically they were trying to block the fire trucks going. Imagine that. It's like, no, we're on strike, we want a pay demand. Okay, fair enough. We'll put the army in instead. Well, we're going to block them. So they were trying to go to put out fires, and some people were trying to stop them. And my friend tells me that somebody in his regiment, because it's army, it's different morals, different mentality. You're given a job, you've got to complete a job. So somebody had tried to park up and block the path of his green fire truck, and he just rode straight through it, push straight through, and after that there was no more blocking of fire trucks. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not true, but a little anecdote for you there. 1983, the first cruise missiles arrive at Greenham Common US base. So that was when then Greenpeace were going mad, and there was all and there was the campaign for nuclear unilateral disarmament. If we give up all our nuclear bombs, the Russians are bound to give up theirs. Whatever happened to all that? And the Greenham Common women, all them women, back, pulling on the, camping out and pulling on the fence and trying to get in and run at planes because, nuclear weapons were terrible, which of course they are. Interesting times. It's strange how that the whole nuclear disarmament thing has just kind of evaporated, hasn't it? And 1994. The first trains run through the Channel Tunnel between England and France. Okay, so some interesting stuff there. And nothing before 1687 today, but hopefully some interesting facts there. And tune in each day and see what went on in the world on this day. So that's the 14th. What happened on the 14th of November? Bye, everybody, and I hope you're reading great things.